Hello and welcome back to Adoniya Academy. This is Maaria here and it's lovely to see you guys back again. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you get notified. Sometime back I made this gorgeous 3-foot tall wedding cake which was similar to the bride's dress. So I thought I'll share how I made it with you guys. I used 3 10-inch, 3 8-inch and 3 6-inch round cakes for this. These were eggless cakes. The recipe for this I'll post in the description box below. I cut each cake layer into 2. Use a long serrated knife to cut your cakes and level them. Now since this cake was taking some time to decorate, I used some simple syrup, which is 1 part water with 1 part sugar, boiled and cooled to keep the cakes moist. I ganached it, I frosted it with some dark chocolate ganache, 2:1 proportion, and I stacked all the layers of the 10-inch cake like so. Repeated the same with the 8-inch and the 6-inch cake layers. Don't use too much simple syrup, just enough to keep the cake moist. And remember, to make these kind of huge tall carved cakes, make sure you bake the cakes 1 day in advance, cling wrap and chill it. I've used a 16-inch MDF cake board which is 10 mm thick, and I've made a center hole for the dowel. I've also stuck 4 pegs of wood to make the legs with a hot glue gun. Since I've used gift paper to kind of cover it, so I'm just covering it with cling wrap. I have a 10 mm threaded rod with nuts and bolts. So fixing the rod with a bolt and a washer for the center support of the cake. This is going to be a very tall cake, almost 3 feet tall. So making sure you have a proper support system is mandatory. And this cake had to travel quite a distance also. Now to increase a little bit of height, I'm using a styrofoam piece which is about 1 inch larger than the biggest cake. So it is about 11 inches. To make the whole thing food safe, I'm covering the threaded rod with some cling wrap and placing a 10.5-inch cake board underneath the 10-inch cake. Make sure the cake board also has a hole, and I'm sliding the first 10-inch cake onto the styrofoam piece. Now again, I'm using bubble tea straws so that there is enough support for the layers coming on top. Use some melted ganache and continue doing the same with the other layers. Now this is the 8-inch cake on our 8.5-inch board. Again, double them with bubble tea straws, ganache, and stack the next layer on top. If you notice, the last layer of the 6-inch cake, I just left it round. Now I'm carving the cake with a long serrated knife. You want to give it like a pyramid shape because that is the skirt part of your bride's dress. Take your time in carving. Carve little at a time. Don't carve out too much. It will be very difficult to patch up. So carve little at a time. You can go over the same area again and again till you are satisfied, like so. Now to make the torso of the bride's dress, I'm using some homemade Rice Krispie treats. I'll put a video on how to make this soon, so keep a watch for it. Shape your torso when the Rice Krispies are quite warm. Shape the neck, the bust, and a little bit of the shoulders. When you are satisfied with the shape, slide them through on top like so. It still has to be soft and pliable so that you can reshape and smoothen out any mistakes. Once you're satisfied with the shape, let it set in a cold room until firm. Now I've transferred the ganache onto a piping bag and I'm starting the crumb coating of the cake. Make sure the ganache is a little runny and not very stiff so that it's easily spreadable like so. Once you're done with the lower skirt part, do the same for the torso and put a layer of ganache on the Rice Krispies. Make sure the ganache is nice and thin so that it goes into the crevices of the Rice Krispies. Now I got these beautiful cake cards from Seema. I'll put a link in the description box below. I'm using that to smoothen the ganache and give a smooth finish. These cake cards come very handy to work on carved cakes. Dip it in some hot water and smoothen all over. Once done, place it in the fridge or in a cool room overnight to set completely. Stay tuned for part 2 where I will be decorating this beautiful cake using various cake decorating techniques including gold painting, edible fabric making and lots more. So thank you so much for watching. Do hit the thumbs up if you liked this video and please subscribe to my channel. Until next time, bye bye.